Today, our lesson is focusing on the economic concept of demand, which is fundamental to any economics course. All of us have purchased an item at one time or another. And believe it or not, whenever we purchase an item, we're communicating with the manufacturer. What are we telling them? Well, we're telling them, number one, that we either like or we need their product. We're also telling them that we agree to pay that price that they're offering it at. Now, when we walk away and we decide not to purchase an item, we're also communicating with that manufacturer. We're telling them that either we don't like or we don't need their product, or, hey, their price is too high, we can get a better price elsewhere. The demand for a product is the amount a person is willing to purchase at different prices, everything else being equal. As the price of something decreases, we see that more and more is purchased. That's why we have sales when we go to the mall. When the price of something increases, people tend to purchase less and less. Let's examine the Smiths. Think of the Smiths as your typical family of four. They have a couple of kids, and they like to get away, like all families, have a date night. And the Smiths, basically, when they leave, they have to have babysitting. If the price for babysitting is $4 an hour, the Smiths could afford and would be willing to hire a babysitter for 55 hours a month. At $4 an hour, they could go out more, they could take their time when they are going out on a date and get back a little bit later. But now let's say the price is $12 an hour. Well, here, the Smith might only be willing or could afford 17 hours a month of babysitting services. So here they might go out a little bit less on the town, and in addition to that, once they're done with whatever, they might run back home because that meter is running. And all in between, we have different prices and different numbers of hours that the Smiths would be willing to hire a babysitter for. This is called a demand schedule. A demand schedule gives a price per hour and the number of babysitting hours per month at any given price. When we take the price per hour and we plot it on a graph, we have what's called a demand curve. And we see that it's customary for economists to put the price per hour on the vertical axis or the y-axis and the quantity demanded per a time period, or in this case per month, on the horizontal axis. Note that the demand curve slopes downward. This makes sense because the law of demand states that as the price increases, the quantity demanded falls. But what do we mean by other things being equal? Well, you might have price of related products, you might have income, you might have tastes. All of these have an impact on the demand curve, but not the quantity demanded. Price impacts the quantity demanded and is shown by a movement along the demand curve. Finally, we've been examining the Smiths. The Smiths have an individual demand curve, but there are many families out there. Some don't need babysitting, others want it. When we add up everybody's demand curve, it becomes what's called the market demand curve. So the market demand curve is simply the sum of all individual demand curves. To learn more about this lesson and other important economic concepts, please visit our website at higherrockeducation.com. Thank you.